Hey, what's up, what's up, what's up, what's up? A gracious good morning, good people. A gracious good Friday. Every Friday is a good Friday. Not to diminish the actual Good Friday, but when you have a rough work week with a very difficult job, and don't get me wrong, this is my chosen profession. I chose this. I love what I do. But that doesn't make it easy. So saying all that to say, it's like when you have a tough week, every Friday is a good Friday. And I can guarantee you that by Friday, most of coworkers or people in my profession are just drained. Me, to the point where, I used to be very socially active. You notice I say used to be. Now I don't even want to see people on the weekend. This is my time to cocoon. All right, let me just get into my message. I talked about a song that I heard by a group that I never knew existed until this morning. So let me get back to those lyrics. Let me run them past you again. I'm not so perfect, but every day I'm learning, striving and searching to be a better person. I'm tired of my life. Emphasis on that part. Underline, highlight, write some notes in the margin on that part. I'm tired of my life. I'm tired of the pain. I'm tired of my past, the guilt and the shame. I'm sure that you hear my heart's desire. I've been to the limit and through the fire. And that's basically what I just discussed in my opening video for today. Then it goes on to say, I want to be better. When people look at my life, I wonder what they see. Can they see I'm a believer, or do they disagree? Can they see that I'm trying with all that I have? I want to be in first place, but I keep on being last. I'm sure that you hear my heart's desires. I have been through the limit and through the fire. Lord, I want to be better. That's a poem. That's a prayer. That's a way of life. That's an attitude to get through life. That's a standard. Now, I talked about standards in my opening video. And I'm going to keep coming back to this point of reference because I hear people talking about my same pain. And I'm taking ownership. My same pain. But see, I want to say this. I don't want to be painted in a light where I'm the better person. Because I have my stuff. S-H T-U-F-F. Stuff. I paused for effect because what I wanted to say. I have my stuff. I shared a couple of videos back that when all was said and done, when the smoke cleared, I know that I grieved the Holy Spirit because my first thought, and here's where the anger issues come in. I need to be very, very open and transparent, and people don't like that, because they're too busy living their lives like a cat in a litter box covering up their stuff. But, it's like my very first response was revenge. and brutality. Because I made the statement to the individual who had gaslit me for some years. You know, they were presenting how they wanted to be, but wasn't engaged in any action to be, because they thought they could still keep their dirt or the litter box remains covered up. And when they talked about the past, which they rarely did, and, you know, the disconnects in their life, it was always the other person. I never looked at that. Why? Because I was in my stuff. You know, I was listening to how they wanted to be while observing how they are. And it took me a minute to put the picture together, because every so often they would come and scramble the pieces. And it's like, so you were always, you meaning me, you're always off guard or disarmed because you were still busying yourself with the pieces. See, when you project a picture, it's there, but it's a little fuzzy. You know, it loses its tone and quality in the projection. That's where I was. I was lost in the projection. And for me, when like I said, when all was said and done, I was able to extend an apology based on knowing that I grieved the Holy Spirit. But I also know that I needed to threaten to expose further, so this individual would think twice about moving on to the next person. Didn't want anybody to get caught in that situation on how I felt. So you gotta, you know, when you got a weed, you gotta destroy the root. I hope I did that. Now that I will also take ownership for the threat of exposure, because you're doing some stuff in secret that's dangerous to a lot of people, including you. But at this point, I'm so angry and so bitter that I don't even care about you. What I care about is the next victim and the next victim. No, this has to be stopped. But like I said, I did. Yeah, I hate saying the word "but" because it kind of diminishes things, and I don't want to diminish. I want to take full ownership. Yeah. But I did extend an apology based on my relationship with the Holy Spirit. I needed to get right. The apology that was, I want to say, not forthcoming, but in an attempt to be reciprocal, the apology that I got was, you ready? I know I've said this before. So you have to listen for certain things. I'm sorry that you think I hurt you. Sit with that for a minute. I just told you you did. But somehow you're not attached to it. It was put, you think I hurt you. See, when I say you hurt me, you don't get to decide that you didn't. But because you conducted yourself on this level in every aspect of a relationship, I have to say, well, damn. Okay. But it went a little further. So in this instance, even though they call themselves severing ties with me, in all that was said, you attempted to reconnect, to ask me to do a favor because you knew I was good to you. See, that's how messed up people are. And I have to look at myself because that's how messed up I was. I stopped hearing the voice of God. Because I was looking out for number one, me. I wanted something. You know, relationships are tricky in that true love is everlasting. I want you to hear that when you read 1 Corinthians chapter 13. Love is everlasting. Okay? Lust has an expiration date.